This is Focus Atlas 8.8 gravel bike, and in this episode I will give you the buyer's guide for this bike, and also at the end I will tell you should you just go ahead and buy it or should you just consider this bike. So, hello friends and welcome to another episode of Cycling Insider. So, as I was saying, a very interesting gravel bike from Focus 8.8 Atlas with the retail price of 3,500 euros. So let's first answer the question, who is this bike for? So as you can see, this gravel bike is all about some kind of, off-roading adventures. So if you are spending majority of your time on the road, but from time to time you like to venture a little bit off-roading, nothing too demanding, then definitely these gravel road bikes are very, very interesting offering. And also, if you like a bit of bike packing and traveling, then definitely they are a very good option because you can mount a lot of bags on this bike. So as you can see, there are a lot of mounting points on the frame and also on the fork. Considering the paint scheme on this bike, unfortunately there is only one paint scheme to choose from. It is this beautiful, I would almost call it like a sand yellow. It's a stunning paint scheme, definitely no problems with that, but again, I wish that Focus had another paint scheme option because the retail price is 3,500 euros for this bike. So definitely not a cheap bike. It's not, one of those eye-watering prices, but definitely, in some kind of a mid-pack when it comes to price ranges of gravel bikes in 2023. So now we can dive into the specifications of this bike and we can really see what are you gonna get for your hard-earned money. And as usual, we can always kick off with the frame and the fork on this bike. So the frame is a carbon fiber frame from Focus, which comes with the press fit BB86 bottom bracket, of course a bit of internal cable routing, 12mm through axles front and the back, and also flat mount disc brakes. When it comes to the carbon fiber frames and forks from Focus, I have to mention that Focus makes excellent carbon fiber frames and forks. Really, their quality control is very good, so whenever I had an opportunity to check or ride some of the Focus bikes, their frames are always top-notch, and funnily enough, their frames always feel much lighter than was the claim weight of these frames. Also, the warranty on these carbon fiber frames and forks is 6 years, which is kind of, standard. I wish that Focus would move to a lifetime warranty like some other bike manufacturers, but it is what it is, just keep that in mind. Also, when I said a bit of internal cable routing, a good thing with this gravel bike is that when you look at the braking lines for the hydraulic disc brakes, they are running under the handlebar and also under the stem, which is very nice, so nothing is routed through the handlebar, through the stem, so it's going to be a bit easier to service if you ever need to replace anything when it comes to the braking lines. Or to be precise, your local bike mechanic will be much more delighted when he sees that these braking lines are not fully internal. And as I was saying, the lot of mounting points you have on this carbon frame and the fork, so if you like bike packing, it's a very good option because this frame offers you, and this fork offers you a lot of options to mount the bags on it. Okay, now let's talk about the group set on this bike. So what are you gonna get? So when it comes to the shifters, front mech and the rear mech, everything is the Shimano GRX 800 810 group set. So this is a dedicated gravel group set from Shimano. It is a mechanical group set, 11-speed group set, absolutely fine and superb. Top-level mechanical group set from Shimano, as I was saying, dedicated group set for the gravel bikes. Although it is an 11-speed group set, there's no problems with that. Of course, you know that today a bunch of, group sets from Shimano and SRAM are 12-speed group set, but definitely there is no problems here, and I have no complaints with this group set. Now, when you look at the crankset and the cassette, so the crankset again from the Shimano GRX offering 4630 chain rings, and they are paired with the 1134 cassette. Here they are using a Shimano 105 level cassette, which is perfectly fine, there's no problems with that. And I also like how here you have a huge gear ratio, lowest ratio of 30-34, so definitely you won't have any problems with long days in the saddle and also climbing any steep mountains because the gear ratios are very nice on this bike. Chain, they are using here the Shimano's HG601 chain, 11-speed chain, perfectly fine chain, no problems. And also in the future, the only thing I can advise you is to use any kind of Shimano chain that is 11-speed compatible in this case. So just keep that in mind. Don't buy one of those, 12-speed compatible chains. Just keep it with the 11-speed compatible chains. Okay, now when we look at the bottom bracket, it's a classical Shimano's Press Fit BB86 bottom bracket. I wouldn't expect any creaking noises here because, as I say, in majority of the cases, Focus carbon fiber frames are excellent, and definitely, I haven't heard from some of my colleagues who ride Focus bikes that they have any problems with the creaking bottom brackets. Now let's look at the handlebar and the stem. So the stem is a classical aluminum stem Focus on production, and handlebar is from Easton EA70 aluminum handlebar. And I will mention here that I'm so glad that both handlebar and the stem are separate pieces, so very easy to replace in the future or upgrade, very easy to adjust your position on the bike, so this is absolutely superb. And this is what, in my opinion, every bike in this category of gravel bikes should have, kind of a dedicated separate pieces of handlebar and the stem. So much easier to service and replace any parts, and nothing is proprietary here. When you look at the saddle and the seat post, you will get a Fizik Taiga saddle, which, of course, saddles are a personal preference, so I hope you like this one. If not, you can always replace it with your preferred saddle. That's not a very expensive, upgrade. And also the seat post, I'm glad that they are using a carbon fiber seat post from BBB, classical 27.2 millimeters in diameter, so all fine and all great because of this carbon fiber seat post, which will definitely soak up some smaller kind of road bumps. Braking system on the bike is the Shimano's hydraulic disc brakes, GRX 810 series hydraulic disc brakes front and the back. Also the braking rotors are, as I can see, some of the basic Shimano's braking rotors, but 160 millimeters both front and the back, which is absolutely excellent. Definitely keep those sizes even in the future. So if you are replacing these braking rotors, of course you can go higher in the lineup of Shimano. Do you want to buy some Shimano Ultegra braking rotors or Shimano, for example, SLX or XT braking rotors, but always keep it at 160 millimeter sizes both front and the back, because ultimately you want a good heat dissipation and you want a good braking performance. Now, talking about the wheel set on this bike, I think it's an excellent addition. So it is a DT Swiss X1900 wheel set. I'm a huge fan of DT Swiss wheels. This is a classical aluminum wheel set from DT Swiss, superb wheel set in my opinion. If you would buy it on the open market, about $600 or 480 euros. This wheel set is going to be about 1,900 grams, aluminum wheel set, as I was saying. It uses the DT Swiss 370 hubs with the DT Swiss Ratchet 18 system. Again, superb stuff. 25 millimeters is the inner width of these rims, and I will just mention here that it is a tubeless ready wheel set, and I believe that with this Focus bike you will also get it tubeless prepared immediately out of the factory. So again, superb wheel set from DT Swiss, classical aluminum wheel set, but it's definitely a proper, reliable workhorse from DT Swiss. And this wheel set is wrapped in the WTB Riddler tires, 45mm tires wide. Excellent choice, a lot of air volume, and you can definitely have a smooth bike ride with these tires. And also in the future, I would advise you to keep the tire width of 45 millimeters. You can choose, any tires on the market. There's so many good ones. Do you want to go down the route of maybe, Continental tires, Pirelli tires, Goodyear tires? So many good tires on the market. So, but definitely keep a good tire diameter because you want a good air volume in these tires. Now the Focus is claiming that the bike weight is 9.1 kilograms. I am assuming this is for the size 54, which would be kind of size medium. And again, in my opinion, 9.1 kilograms for this gravel bike is totally acceptable, and if you add the pedals on top of it, let's say another 300 grams, so we are speaking approximately 9.4 kilograms ready to ride bike, in my opinion, totally acceptable, because if you want to spend some time, off-roading with this bike, then definitely you shouldn't be so worried about having the lightest possible bike. And also, if you are, bike packing, you want a bit of, a substantial bike in the sense of, stiffness and kind of a bit of mass to really handle all the bike packing duties. So, what is my advice to you? Should you just go ahead and buy this Focus Atlas 8.8, or should you just shortlist it? Well, I believe you should definitely shortlist this Focus Atlas 8.8, and the main reason is that, the retail price is 3,500 euros, so definitely not a cheap bike. So I wouldn't just go ahead and tell you, just go ahead and just easily buy it and spend 3,500 euros, but shortlist it definitely because of super quality, in my opinion, carbon fiber frames and forks from Focus, and also the group set on this bike and the DT Swiss X1900 wheel set. Everything is really top notch, in my opinion, for this gravel bike. So, I think this is gonna be it for today. I hope you like what I'm doing, and if you do, keep on watching, keep on liking, and as always, I will see you soon in the next episode. Cheers!